And now, back to PTR Radio with Shaggy.
Who the fuck are you? You nothing. You are nothing.
There we go.
And you will never be anything. Never.
Colin.
Anybody know who you are? You miserable, presumptuous, no talent. You obviously don't have the talent.
And Mike, the Ape Man.
You are everything that's gone wrong in this world. You are self-consumed, no talent, mediocre piece of shit.
PTR Radio.
And welcome, everybody, to another edition of PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. That's right. We're live a week late, but, we're here. And that's all that matters. Really. I mean,
It's the first of 2 Tuesdays in a row where we're going to do an episode.
Well, we got to talk about that.
Oh, change your mind on that?
I think I screwed up.
Oh.
Yeah, I double booked myself for next Tuesday.
Oh, Lord.
So,
Who's the other booking?
a paying client.
Okay, so, Colin, we lose.
Yes.
So, yeah. There you go, Mike. There's the link for you for the toy. Hopefully it works.
Boy, a link.
So, because it might have changed a little bit, but I think this should work for you.
All right.
So, and hopefully we'll get some text messages and some Facebook and Twitter messages. And don't forget to type into the show if you're interested in what's going on. Twitter is at PTR Radio. Facebook, obviously, you're watching us on Facebook. If you're watching us right now live, it's just /PTR Radio and check out our live page. So, we changed things a little bit. I have completely rewired all of the machines that we use to do the broadcast with. And it caused us a little bit of issues when we first started. But now we're up and running and we're going. And Mike is sounding greater than ever. And, Colin's here. And, oh, by the way, I got another button to press. And there, I just pressed it. And now we just sent out a Twitter message with one button press. It says, hey, we're live. Tune in now. So I got buttons. I got to press them now. Now that they actually might work.
But does that mean there's a button that you have to be careful not to push for the rest of 2 weeks?
No, because I've already exported all the settings into files, so I can recover them very easily.
So you have a different set of buttons that you use the rest of the time?
No, I don't use the buttons the rest of the time. They just sit there.
Okay.
So yeah, no, these buttons are our buttons and only our buttons.
Yeah.
I don't. If I had buttons, I would be using those buttons every way possible. Well, I would be finding multiple uses for those buttons.
And I could, they've got buttons to control Spotify and to control the media player. I could change the temperature. I could do all kinds. I mean, the buttons are endless. They've got buttons that you could program your web favorite links and just launch them with a button here. I don't know why you do that, but you could. You can have buttons that play songs. Play dedicated WAV files. So, like, when I do something good, I could have you're the best around. No one's ever going to get you down. I could have all kinds of fun buttons. But
he said fun buttons.
So, yeah, everybody needs a fun button. But yeah, I mean, but we are a week late on the stream, and that unfortunately life kind of got in the way a little bit. And I did a brief post. Well, brief, but I gave a long post warning on that. And what it was Sunday morning. Last Sunday morning, we got a phone call from my father-in-law who said, "Hey, I can't get out of bed." Okay, he's a bit dramatic. And so we thought, well, is he crying wolf again, or is this actually something important? But at his age, you can't really take the risk, right? So we went over there, and
how old is he again?
90.
Yeah.
So we went over there, and it sounded like he had a swimming pool in his lungs. That's how much water was running around in him. We called the ambulance, had them take him to the hospital. Turns out he had a heart attack. And his, they treated him for that. Turns out this probably was not his first. It was just the first that was a big one. He had probably had smaller ones in the past, they say, because when they finally did the heart cath, which is, I didn't think it was as big of a deal, but evidently it's a huge deal no matter what your age is. They said that his arteries looked like the L.A. at rush hour. They were that stopped up. I have a graphic, but I won't share it. I'll probably send it to you guys so that you can see what it looks like. But I mean, there's no clear path. You're not getting home anytime soon. I mean, and there was blockage in front of blockage in front of blockage. That's what was crazy. His doctor said, listen, because of your age and because of the dye that's involved, we can't keep you under very long. So evidently we're a little quiet, so I will have to fix that.
What is that?
What's what?
That was new.
That was new.
I gotta share. I'm sharing that again because that's a new.
That's a new. So hopefully we sound a little bit better now. But yeah. So we got him taken care of, and they said due to the dye, we're only going to do what caused this issue. Okay. So they luckily they got him in, they got him done. They put a couple of stints in, and they said, okay, we'll come back in about 4 to 6 weeks, and we'll deal with the others. Okay, so now he's into rehab for 3 weeks of the 4 to 6 weeks, and so he's on the road to recovery. But it was kind of funny because the hospitals here, Mike, I'm sure they're like in New Jersey. They are not small by any means. All right,
no,
they almost need a trolley to take you from one side to the other. Really, there's one that actually takes up almost 3 city blocks. So. And they were moving him from one side of the hospital to the other side of the hospital. And they were moving him to a part of the hospital that is only used when they need to overflow. Okay? And the little nurse that was taking him didn't know where it was. She had gotten directions from someone, but evidently they weren't very good directions. And then she had asked somebody else, and they said, oh, no, you have to go back over here. Somehow they ended up in pediatrics, is where they ended up, on the completely wrong side of the building. And I told my wife when she told me, I said, well, they're close. She was close. He's bald and wears a diaper. So, somewhere in the ballpark, really. But so they finally ended up. But my wife said she has definitely gotten her steps in while he was in the hospital. And also, it seemed to be every time they moved him to a floor where, since they're doing renovations, because they're constantly doing renovations, the elevator would not go to. So it was take the general elevator to this floor, get off, walk around, and use the patient-only elevator to go up to the floor you want to go to, and then you can get to where you need to go. But, so there was a lot of that involved. So hopefully nobody else has to go through that much trouble. Mm-hmm. But everything is luckily going well now, except for there was a new wrinkle. We went to church this last Sunday, and as always, they have this little communication card. They basically want to know, were you there? Is there anybody that they can pray for, etc.? So my wife always fills out the communication card, and she fills out, yeah, my dad had a heart attack. He's in the hospital. Just, pray for recovery, yada, yada, yada. All right. Well, my parents are also members at the church, and she literally wrote, my dad didn't put a name. So I got a text message today going, hey, we heard your dad is in the hospital. We're thinking about him. And I didn't think anything of it until they used his name. We hope Mike is feeling better, gets to feeling better, when it should have been Charlie. And then, so I corrected him. And then I get an email from my dad, which is a forward from the church that says, hey, we heard you had a heart attack. This is an email from the church to my dad. Hey, we heard you had a heart attack. Have someone let us know what room you're in. We'll bring you communion.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Exactly. So that was fun to try and explain.
Yes. Actually, I just looked it up. Both hospitals here in town are about 7 blocks each.
Yeah. I mean, they're just massive.
That's insane.
And they're about half a mile from each other.
Yeah.
It's called the medical district.
I wonder why.
Mm-hmm. Between state government and medicine, that's what runs this town. Pretty much.
Yep.
But it works out well because we have a great cancer coverage and we have great heart coverage here.
Yeah.
Those two things we do really well here.
And burn.
Yeah, and we have a good burn ward.
So for burn, heart, or cancer, we're like the place where people go to anywhere within Central Illinois. Or Illinois, actually.
Yeah. So, we just need some more specialties around here. So, by the way, I think it was Mama Blair that texted in. Let us know if the sound is any better.
She did.
Okay.
I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. As long as it's better. So, Mike, do you like that new that new look?
Yeah, that's interesting. That's okay.
It's different.
Yeah.
It gives them a little bit more room to write because I know we had a problem with that before.
That is true. That is very true.
So,
but it does mean that it's less likely for Mike to be able to, look into the eyes of whoever's.
Yeah. Yes, he can't stare into your.
Yeah. I can't have my moments with Mama Blair anymore.
Yeah,
it's okay.
So, but yeah, it's been a fun time so far.
So, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, they want to keep the people that are plugged in.
Yeah.
Oh man, and you think Walmart's bad? The hospital is bad too, especially like the ICU floors. If you want to see weird people.
Oh, you mean? Oh, okay. I was like, what are you talking about? They have cheap stuff? What?
No, people that are inappropriately dressed and behaving poorly.
Okay, but in their defense, a lot of times, if depending on what section of the hospital you're in, if it is an emergency, you don't have time to get yourself all dialed up.
No, I understand that. So, I can forgive the inappropriately dressed, but the inappropriately behaving is difficult to forgive. So there was a waiting room in ICU. One waiting room for ICU patients, families. That's it. Okay? And there was already a family in there when we got in there. Now, the family is going through a horrible time. I will give them that, okay? Their son was shot, okay? And I don't think he made it, okay? But they had 12 people in there and 6 children running around. And they had been there for 4 days, according to them. And they had basically taken over the waiting room.
Okay.
They had all but 3 chairs either laid out as beds or piled full of their stuff or whatever. There was no room for anyone else.
Yeah. Okay. So that I get that.
The only chairs that were available when we got there were the 3 chairs underneath the television that they had the remote for, and they had turned up the volume to a point so that they could hear it across the room. So you have speakers blaring in your ears while you're trying to talk about, hey, what do we need to do for Dad? Yeah, very pleasant experience there. We were never so happy as to when the nurses said, hey, you can go past the two-person per limit in his room. So that's what's been going on with my life. Now he's in a physical therapy recovery and complaining mostly. But I said, hey, listen, look at it this way. Because he's basically in, it's either long-term care retirement or physical and occupational therapy in there. So it's all older folks. I said, listen, most of the people that are in there, you could tell them the same story every single day because they'll forget it that night. I know it's a horrible joke, but it's true.
No, a horrible thing is how my grandfather would be like, oh, we haven't seen you in a while. And I'd be like, Pop, I was just here yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yep. And now we're talking about, okay, what do we need to do at his house? He doesn't want to do anything, but we're like, listen, we can't. How do you still live your life while watching after an elderly person who doesn't want to leave their home? You can't be there 24/7. So
you're going to need to get some kind of nursing support. Because we went through that in my family, where, and
And sorry, this isn't totally hilarious content, but
But we went through this, and lots of trips to the hospital that were definitely not necessary. Yeah. But anything that went wrong at all required a trip to the hospital. So now family members now in a assisted living, not nursing home.
Yeah.
But there actually is an actual real nurse there.
Right.
That checks them out on a daily basis, and very rarely is a trip to the hospital necessary then, because the nurse knows exactly what's going on and says, "Oh, that's just this. Don't worry about it."
Right. Yeah. I mean, it just goes into what it helps. It helps because we're all about keeping him in his home for as long as he wants.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you have to be realistic about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had thought about putting cameras in just to keep an eye on him because, he doesn't necessarily always carry his cell phone. Thank goodness he actually went to bed with his cell phone within reach because otherwise there's no other way for him to get a hold of us. We talked about getting him a life alert type thing in case he fell because he has fallen within the last couple months, but it's like he would refuse to wear it. We've had other older folks that we've taken care of that just, hey, great, I'll hang it on my walker, But then if they never use their walker, which is they're the kind of people that don't, then what the heck does it do other than rack up a bill?
Shaggy's gonna buy Echo Dots on clearance and put them all over his father-in-law's house.
Yeah, but yet he's the conspiracy theory type, and so getting any type of technology in there to make our lives easier is very difficult. So,
what did he do before he was retired?
He designed metal things. So like the metal cart that I have for behind my tractor, that's one of the things that he designed.
Okay.
So he's like a machinist or?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, was he freelance or did he work for somebody?
No, he worked for Precision when they were still in town, and then they closed. And but he was, kind of like not necessarily a machinist, more like a designer, architect, drafter type, thing. But then also built the proof of concepts, before they went out. So.
Okay.
So, I mean, you would think he's smart, but this is also the same guy that wears glasses but refuses to get hearing aids. And we say, well, you're dealing with your eyesight going. Why won't you deal with your hearing loss going? And but that's that. So, anyway, so what's been up with you guys?
Let's see.
Well,
I was excuse me. I was having similar medical stress. Not me personally, but we lost someone at work who was the main person who used and supported the piece of software that I've written for the last 10 years. So that was stressful.
Yeah, that's never easy.
I ended up modifying the system to put his initials next to the version number. So the system now permanently has a little remembrance of him.
Okay, that's cool.
Because, when you're a person who wrote it and it maintains it, you can do things like that.
Yeah.
Without, getting anybody's permission for putting a memorial into state property.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last night I didn't have any medical issues. Knock on wood. Last night I did meet up with the Glacier and was able to deliver the Boxo randomness to him for winning the 2018 Celebrity Death Pool. So we kept our word and got it out before the middle of the year.
Boy, that's a hard word to keep sometimes.
I did not get any pictures because, quite frankly, I was a little bit too drunk by the end of the night. So, yeah. But I asked him to get pictures. It turns out that Irish Blue Liner, who was also a winner at one point, he was there also. And he looked right at me and said, "Does his box have porn in it?" I said, "I didn't know that yours did, but okay." And no.
Now, was there disappointment that this box didn't have it, or disappointment that his box did?
He was, the Glacier was actually glad there was nothing inappropriate in there.
Oh, okay.
So, let's see what else. What else happened here? Well, since the last show, I don't think we spoke about our new family member.
No.
The So let me go grab a picture real quick to give Shaggy. Oh Lord! So, we lost our one dog, Daisy, unexpectedly a few months ago, and whatever. She's not watching. Let's see if this works. Does it go? Yeah. She ain't watching. She ain't gonna watch. So I'll show you the picture with my wife. We adopted a 10-year-old Maltese Bichon mix, and her name was Precious. Her name is now Freshy because, well, she's a little bitch. She thinks she rules the roost, and she's finally learning where her place in the totem pole is. So,
it's somewhere on top, right?
She'd like to think so. Somehow it's the first time in my life. I never thought I would hear myself say this. It's the first time in my life that a dog wound up on the kitchen counter, and not because we put them there.
I saw that. I saw that post.
We are
and
not sure
I'm like,
how she got up there.
Oh, I thought the other picture you had of her explained the. Because was that the same dog that was like on the chair underneath the tabletop?
Yes. So later on, what we figured out was she hopped on the dining room chair, then somehow jumped over to the, what's it called, the brake front or whatever, the hutch or whatever the hell it's called. I don't know. That's a woman thing, the storage, and then jumped over onto the kitchen counter right there. So she kind of did American Ninja Warrior to get up there, but man, listen.
I think it's the Bichon, because my McKenna has a Bichon, and they Max, and for because he's a very large Bichon, she half wonders if he's part poodle, but he's not a small dog, but he seems to believe that he is a master jumper dog.
Okay.
And he jumps distances and things that you're like, do you think you can do that? Because apparently you did, like jumping over couches.
Yeah.
And he's like going, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, then you get this picture of her coming over, and it's because she's this cute that she still has a home here. Otherwise,
Yeah.
she don't act 10. I'll tell you that right now. But,
Yeah.
I thought that this may have been a typo. I'm not sure, but is Schnucks a store out there?
Yeah, yes, it's a grocery store.
Okay, I read it real quick and thought maybe she meant to write Schmucks.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
Yeah. Yeah,
All right,
Schnucks is a chain grocery store around here.
Right. So here's the story on that. She had went and purchased Mother's Day presents for both of the grandmas.
Mm-hmm.
And she had one of the small carts, not the full-size cart, the ones that are like half-size.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this Schnucks apparently just got carts that if they go over the wire, they engage a brake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the problem with this is it's in a shopping center, and they kind of just willy-nilly put a wire out there, and doesn't really make any sense. So there's a Chinese restaurant next to the Schnucks, which we like to go to. It's our favorite Chinese restaurant. But if you park in front of the Chinese restaurant, you're on the other side of the wire.
Ah.
Also, there were no signs to say that they just put the system in. There's no sign on the cart. There's no sign anywhere. So my mom was pushing this cart on the way to the car to put the stuff in there, and suddenly the brake turns on. It's on the front wheels, I think. So it's on the front wheel of a half-length cart, which means that the cart
almost somersaulted over the cart.
Almost somersaulted over the cart.
Yeah.
And the things that she'd bought for the grandparents broke.
I could see that.
So she was perturbed. And
I
we did
can
and
see that.
gave Schnooks, her mind on that. Apparently she went in again like 2 days ago and did it again. And found out that somebody else with one of those did somersault over it with one of those half carts. But they still have not put a sign up to let anybody know that this is now happening.
Nice. Lawsuits, baby.
Yeah.
Lawsuits.
Well, that's what it would almost have to be. I mean,
Well, they need to put signs up, and they need to put some kind of lines down so you know where the wire is.
Yeah, draw me.
Yeah.
Get one of those things, that they used to mark the baseball fields with.
Yeah, something. But the other thing she noticed is that all you have to do is turn the carts around backwards and pull them. And so there's lots of carts just kind of out there further away. So they're just making their cart people their job even harder because now they have to go and drag those carts back.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Then what they need to do is just, bite the bullet.
Buy more carts.
And do the same thing that Aldi does and put quarter slots on the carts that you have to put a quarter in and get your quarter back when you're done. Aldi doesn't have any problem with people losing them.
I wonder if they do.
Well, BJ's Wholesale Club, the BJ's by us used to have the quarters for a cart thing before the Aldi's moved in.
Mm-hmm.
Then they got rid of the quarters for carts and they put in the electronic fencing. And now they are the only store in their parking lot. Right, they have their own lot, so you don't have the issue that you have.
Right,
but there is a road that separates one side of the lot from the other, and on the very busiest of days, people have to park in that other lot. They put the wire on the one side of the road, so anybody parking on the other side, no luck. Your wheel's locked.
Mm-hmm.
About 5 months later, half of the carts, the wheels were locked, and somebody just kind of pushed them enough and got fed up enough that because the brake is actually a plastic cover that goes over the wheel.
Right.
That wore out, and the wheels started spinning by its own again. Then they just got rid of it altogether and just went back to the honor system with the carts and hired somebody because they finally figured out to maintain all the carts and what have you, it was cheaper to pay somebody to go and just gather up the carts.
Yeah, because that's the real reason for the quarter. It's not to avoid the carts being stolen. It's to not pay somebody to go and collect the carts from the lot.
Right.
But yeah.
But even that, if you have like an Aldi cart and you see it by the side of the road and you need that quarter, then, fine. I'll push several carts back over to the Aldi and get some quarters.
Well, you Victor Navorsky?
Yeah.
Well, I personally am not going to do this, but someone would.
Yeah. All right.
The guys I see going down through alleys looking for people throwing away aluminum cans so they can gather them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They're going to find those carts, too.
True. So, Mama Blair said, we're trying to cut down on signage so they don't have signs. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. There's tons of signs you can get rid of that don't help us. All right? There are certain signs we need. Certain signs that we do need. There's plenty of signs we don't need.
Gotta love it. Yeah.
So,
speaking along those lines, though, Maine has become the first state to ban styrofoam. Did you guys see this article? They are evidently they are jumping on the green bandwagon. Like McDonald's did 20 years ago, more than or 25, 30 years ago
long
now.
time, yeah.
All right, now McDonald's. See, this is the funny part. McDonald's did that, claiming to be all about the environment, but then it came out that it saved them millions of dollars
Yeah, it's a
because
win-win,
they went
sure.
to just paper wrappers.
In trash, in storage, in cost of I'm sure. Yeah. Well, but now you can't get the what was it, the Mc Deluxe or whatever it was, where you get the hot on the hot side and the cold on the cold side. I mean, that you are missing that.
The Mick
That was
BLT.
the McDLT, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the trade off. When you get rid of styrofoam, you can't have hot on the hot side and cold on the cold side.
Yeah. I guess it wasn't a very successful sandwich anyway, so they're okay with that.
Yeah. Now they're just throwing bacon on everything and hoping that it works. But yes, Maine has become the first state to take such a step as debate about banning plastic bags and other disposable products is spreading around the nation. Now, I was in Vermont, I think, a few months ago, and yeah, they banned plastic bags. Well, they didn't ban them, but if you wanted to use a plastic bag, you had to pay, I think it was like a nickel a bag.
Yeah. They're talking about doing that here, too.
Yeah, so...
So, interestingly enough, the Walmart by us did that today.
Oh, yeah.
That you had to pay for bag. No, they actually got rid of the plastic bags altogether. If you wanted bags, you had to buy a reusable bag.
They're dollar bags.
I think they were selling them for 50 cents.
Okay.
But this came with no prior announcement.
No warning.
Somebody just posted up in one of the Facebook groups that this happened at Walmart today.
Wow. I wonder if it just became like corporate. I wonder if it's a trial. Like it's going to be corporate policy all around and they're like trialing it in certain locations.
This is what bothers me. Those bags are poop bags. So now I have to go on Amazon to buy my own bags to use that Kim can use for the kitty litter and what have you as poop bags.
Yeah. You can get the thank you bags pretty cheap, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think they actually sell them at BJ's too by the case. I may have to look into that next time I'm there.
Let's see here. Universal plastic thank you bag. You can buy a box of 250 for $17.59 on Amazon.
Yeah, she may have contacts through her. Through the business to get them cheaper. But anyway,
you can get them for $15.44 thanks to Honey.
Oh, of course.
So, but anyway, Maryland's legislature has also approved bills to ban polystyrene, but it's unclear whether Republican Governor Larry Hogan will sign the legislation. Democratic delegate Brooke Learman, the primary sponsor of Maryland's House bill, said banning foam products was a first step in curbing people's reliance on single-use plastics. Now the law we were talking about here from Maine goes into effect technically on January 1st, 2021, and prohibits restaurants, caterers, coffee shops, and grocery stores from using the to-go foam containers because they cannot be recycled in Maine. Maine has proven itself an environmental leader once again, this time in eliminating disposable foam containers that have become a common, costly, and deadly form of plastic pollution. Well, really, I would expect Maine being a small state, landfill space is probably at a premium.
Yes and no. I mean, they do have a huge amount of territories up in the northern part, like where they, I guess they do a lot of logging and what have you. I'm sure that there's someplace up there they could do.
Well, yeah, but it becomes costly to ship your landfill.
But here's the other thing. Now it says food containers. Does that include coffee cups?
I don't know about that.
Because if it does, then Dunkin' Donuts and a lot of those other ones that still use foam cups for some of their coffee, that's
going to be a big deal.
Yeah, you're going to have to change.
They're going to have to go to those paper cups with the cardboard sleeves on them.
Yeah, I mean, like Starbucks uses that for all of their coffees, and it's not a problem. But Dunkin' Donuts always used the styrofoam for their hot coffee, and the paper cups were for their lattes and macchiatos and the specialty coffee.
Yeah, right. I mean, the hot side hot, the cold side cold. Again, we come back to McDonald's.
Dunkin' Donuts was already getting rid of the foam cups. They're supposed to be gone by 2020.
Oh, wow.
So they're getting out ahead of it.
Okay, so we're.
But yeah, they say more than 256 million pieces of disposable foam cups, plates, bowls, platters, and trays are used every year in Maine, according to the NRCM.
So I have to go and get some styrofoam food containers.
Yep.
Dunkin' Donuts coffee cups.
Yep.
Some straws.
Plastic bags.
Some plastic bags. And all of this is going to go into a time capsule.
Well, or you could start to sell it on the black market to citizens.
I don't even want to joke about this gray market, black market type.
An underground
I don't even want to talk about
plastic.
Okay?
Say you could drive around in a van and go, "Hey, need some styrofoam?"
The old man's house next door. I'm pretty damn sure that I saw the son carrying a box of incandescent light bulbs out of the basement the other day. I'm pretty sure that the old man that used to live there was hoarding the light bulbs as soon as he found out.
Oh my God! So there was the
regular bulbs are going to go, and
there was a Facebook post. There was a Facebook post, marketplace post announcing a garage sale, but you could tell that they were one of those like super shoppers or whatever in the hell you call them.
Oh yeah.
Because all it was shelves of products in someone's garage. They had like 30 bottles of Pert Plus and 28 things of Colgate Plus. And
Extreme Coupon.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it was. I think an Extreme Couponer died, and they're just trying to clear the inventory.
Good Lord.
I mean, that's what it was.
19 carts of groceries for $10.
Yeah. This place had, I think it said they had 24, family-sized containers of Tide. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, that's basically going shopping with coupons and then setting up your own store in your garage.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, there's a British show with a comedian doing his own Judge Judy show.
Okay.
And one of them was...
I like comedians as judges. That makes sense.
And one of them...
if we can have one as a president, Britain can have one as a judge.
So one of them was doing that. Was the wife
the eye roll.
Talking about her husband who keeps buying things just because they're on sale.
Oh, well, he's saving them money, obviously. I mean, that's the logic, right? Hey, I'm making money.
Right.
The logic is saving you money by buying stuff.
Yes, exactly. We can't afford not to buy this. It's such a good deal.
It's like, I think one of them was like he bought like 20,000 lens wipes because they were on sale.
Yeah.
But none of them nobody in the family wears glasses.
Well, nobody wears sunglasses?
They're in England. They don't need sunglasses.
Okay. Well, is there such a thing as like galoshes glasses? I don't know. Maybe they need that. Mike got a new costume.
I know how much you love the Weeping Angels.
Yes, I hate those. I'm glad they're not coming back. I'm so glad they're not coming back.
They're fine in the very first episode they were in, but they got overused.
The Weeping Angels were awesome when the Statue of Liberty turned into one.
That's exactly when
that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. If Men in Black could turn the torch into a giant neuralizer, then Doctor Who can turn it into a Weeping Angel.
Well, so let's talk about that. I'm kind of looking forward to that movie coming out.
Which movie? Oh, yes.
Men in Black International or whatever.
I'm looking forward to that.
I am and I'm not. I don't know.
It's either going to be great or it's going to suck.
All right.
There's no middle ground there.
While we're talking about this, before we go, can we have our Infinity War, our Endgame discussion?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Because I bit the bullet and went to the movies by myself.
Right, which, by the way, if you haven't watched Infinity War, tune out now. Come back in about 15 minutes. Yes.
Because
I heard that you went by yourself.
Yes. It was me and 6 other people in the theater at 1 o'clock in the afternoon during the week.
That sounds so great. It sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
Yeah, actually.
I would love that.
I'm sitting there with my giant bucket of Coke, taking
That's
baby
dangerous.
sips, like sips that I don't even have to swallow, just like drops at a time to get absorbed. This way, I didn't have to go pee. I actually downloaded the Run Pee app.
Okay.
And was looking to see when the pee times were.
Yeah.
And I got past the first one, and I was like, "Yep, I'm committed. I'm in."
Yeah. Now.
I couldn't bring myself to buy the giant popcorn, though. I just...
Yeah.
So,
now you don't have a choice.
I have one of those refillable annual popcorn buckets.
Mm-hmm. All right, so... Overall, I thought it was a fitting ending. I think they could have done two movies, to be completely honest with you. I don't think they had to do... They could have... I think they probably should have split it up into two. I did feel like some of the scenes were rushed. Or was it exactly...
One thing you have to understand is that some of them were reshoots. So...
Okay.
Like, for example, the female... thing where Carol Danvers takes the gauntlet from Spider-Man, and then he's like, "Well, you're going to need help to get through here," and then you have all the female cast members behind her.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay,
because I took issue with that. I felt it was just a very gratuitous type moment that really served no purpose other than the fact that everybody wanted to see it. Why do you keep switching headphones?
Thank you for asking that.
Because that pair monitors what the feed hears.
Oh.
And this pair is just for my ears. So,
Okay.
And I had made a change, and I wanted to make sure that it was still okay.
Okay. So, yeah. I understand why they did it,
Yeah.
but it still doesn't mean that that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to be annoyed by it. Because I was.
Oh, yeah.
It did feel a little bit annoying, but on the other side, it was kind of cool. And I mean, the directors are like, "Hey, we really wanted a scene like that, but in the original edits that we didn't have one, but we knew we kind of wanted one, so we went ahead and did a reshoot with everybody just so that we could put it in there because we found a spot where it would feel right."
Yeah, yes, it was gratuitous fan service, but that was pretty much the entire.
That was the battle scene. Was gratuitous.
The
fan
entire
service.
battle sequence was gratuitous fan service. As long as you went with that, yeah.
For example, another thing which was a reshoot was Iron Man at the end when he did what he did at the end, and he said, "I am Iron Man." That wasn't in the original.
Yeah, the original one he
didn't say
snapped.
anything. He just snapped. And the directors had dinner with somebody else because they're like, we need something. And one of the main writers said, "Well, what about this?" And they're like, "Oh, that's perfect." And they had to convince Robert Downey Jr. to do it. They're like, it took a couple days to get him to say yes because he wasn't sure if he wanted to get back into that mind space again. I guess he's really kind of a method actor.
Yes,
and it was kind of wearing on him to get into that mental attitude. So, but
it was already such a huge thing when he did it the first time. He was afraid of what it would do to him to have to do that scene a second time.
Yeah. But it was really, it was perfect. I couldn't imagine, when I heard that, I'm like, I can't imagine that movie ending without that.
No, that was important.
Okay, now, who knows who the teenage kid was at the end?
I do.
I do.
Okay, so we all know that it was the kid from
kid
Iron
from
Man
Iron Man
3.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I had to ask my daughter who the heck it was because I had no idea who this weirdo was that was just standing there. And she's like, I had to Google it because I didn't have a clue.
I Googled it to confirm it afterwards. That's who I thought it was, but I did have to confirm it.
So
a couple of other minor critiques, I guess, if you will, or things that kind of... I didn't like how Professor Hulk just showed up and everybody was like cool with it.
There is another thing. I watched a lot of behind the scenes and like director's commentary, not director's commentary, but interviews with the directors. They said they have a whole like almost 25-minute thing of him, and they're like, we also had another half hour or hour of how that came to be, but they're like, something had to be cut or this could have been a 12-hour movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it sounds like a lot of my critiques are probably going to be special features on
maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I saw a ton of there's already like 18 cutscenes on YouTube from Endgame.
The other thing, now that I'm thinking about it, is this stuff may just wind up being not on the DVDs but on Disney Plus.
It could be.
That too. They should do the whole Peter Jackson thing to it and have the super duper version.
Boy, if they have a super long version where it's everything, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah. I would enjoy it.
42 hours straight of Marvel Phase 1.
Going back to your comment though about the female, cast member, female Avengers Assemble moment, right? There was a huge outcry because there was also a picture taken with the Russos of that all-female cast there, and people were pissed that Black Widow wasn't in the photo, and they're like, "Why isn't Black Widow as well as what was her name, the SHIELD agent that?"
Well, she's not a superhero.
Well,
Peggy Carter.
No, not Peggy Carter. The other one that was usually with Coulson.
Maria Hill.
Yes, yeah. Hill. They're like, why wasn't she there? If you're focusing on all the women of Marvel, where are these two?
Well,
because at least Hill is still alive.
Yeah,
somewhere. They're like, we could kind of understand, maybe why Black Widow's not there, but Hill's still alive.
But now, after you see the movie, well, you know why Black Widow isn't there.
Well, but this picture came out after the movie.
I know. So if it came out after the movie...
It came out after the movie.
Then you're like, well, we know why Black Widow isn't there.
Yeah. But people were just really pissed that the starters of the MCU, because those two were around from the beginning,
right?
That they weren't included in that picture. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, come on. You guys are
really
from that
nitpicking
scene now.
And Maria Hill couldn't be there for that scene, because if he had her there, then you'd also have to have Sam Jackson there.
Yeah.
Well, last time I checked, he had a twig and berries, so he wouldn't have fit in with all-female Avengers.
In the overall fight scene.
In the final battle.
in the final battle, which would have been cool, I think.
Yeah.
I want to see him and the cat included in there. I want to see him just throwing the cat at somebody. All right, if we're going to bring Carol Danvers, let's have the cat. Okay.
I agree. Although we don't know what's happened with the cat.
Yeah, we don't know.
I'm sure there will be some thing in the future, just like we don't really know what happened with Captain America. And there's some things in this movie that the directors, everybody has said exactly why this happened and what happened.
Yeah.
What happened with Captain America apparently is being left for a future movie to fill in exactly what's going on there. Like, did he go to a different dimension and then come back with the shield? Was he actually in the same place the entire time? That's not really explained. It seems to be on purpose.
Yeah.
Did he make out with his daughter?
Well, if it's in a different dimension, then that daughter would
it's
be
like a different zip code.
Yeah,
it's like if it's in a different zip code, it don't count.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, no, it would be a different daughter.
But it was, like another one of the scenes that was cut was they had one of the Olsens, I think, slated to be Tony's daughter grown up, so that because there was a scene after he snapped, similar to Thanos' scene.
That wasn't one of the Olsens. That was the lead. She was in 13 Reasons Why. I did read that, and they cut it because
it didn't test
that
well.
one. Well, it didn't test well because people are like, "Huh?"
Yeah, exactly. They're like, "We're not emotionally invested in her."
Yeah, I get that part.
Yeah.
Well, and then I want to know where was Luis and the rest of the ticks or whatever the hell
I did
Ant-Man calls
love.
them.
I did love that to find the car. He played the horn. I did love that part. That was one of the funniest things.
Yes, there was.
The last one.
And this was the last one.
Yep. And it was actually not slated to be in this movie. It was slated, a little known fact, that scene was supposed to be in Captain Marvel. They took it out of that movie and put it in this movie so that this movie would be Stan Lee's last cameo rather than the previous one.
So where'd they get the one that was in Captain Marvel?
He had a couple of different ones because, like, for every movie he films a couple of different ones. And they're innocuous enough that you can pick them up and put them down in different scenarios. You can build around them, kind of like what I used to do for the Spotlight. You can take them out of context.
I can see.
And so, but that is absolutely true.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm just looking at
that they didn't want Captain Marvel to be his last one. They wanted to end the story arc for these three main characters with Stan Lee, which is why it feels forced. Because that one felt forced, man. Some of the other ones were spot on, and I know that because I've been kind of rewatching the whole MCU now. And, I mean, this one just felt forced.
I don't know, because it was time period correct.
It was time period correct, but it just wasn't supposed to be there. Because it was time period correct for Carol Danvers' time, too.
No. Carol Danvers was later than that. That just doesn't. I don't know.
That's. I'm just telling you what everybody is saying. So,
but I mean, overall, I thought it was a fitting ending. I did I laughed. I did cry a little bit, not like sobbing. Just like single tear drop in my soda. I did already pre-order the Blu-ray.
Okay.
Mainly because I have a ton of Amazon digital credits that were going to expire if I didn't pre-order something. Thanks to no rush shipping, get $1. So, did all of that.
Makes sense.
And you guys, you guys don't watch Game of Thrones.
No.
All right, so.
No, but Colin evidently did some work. And
I didn't create it. I just found it.
He found a graphic that people say illustrates Game of Thrones and where they're at with it currently. Now this is
currently meaning where how it played out because it's over.
Yeah, they say this is a good illustration of Game of Thrones in horse form.
Okay, so my personal opinion is that this is fairly accurate.
Yeah.
But I think people are getting too hypercritical about this final season.
Well,
that being said,
they've been without source material since what, season 5 or midway through season 6 at least?
So. I think so. But they have consulted with
R.R. Martin,
R.R.
George.
Martin.
Yeah.
Or as I like to call him, George. They've consulted with George and kind of know they're kind of on the same page. Now, I think he is going to change his ending a little bit based off of the response to the broadcast ending. I feel that they should not have done 6 episodes. They should have done a full 10. And instead of doing hour and 20-minute episodes, do a full 10-hour episodes, because there were a lot of things that were rushed and not really covered here.
Mm-hmm. But did they finally get dragons, Mike? That's all anybody cares about.
Of course, there were dragons.
Okay, so there'd be dragons.
There have been dragons since like the 2nd season.
Okay, because that's all that Butters wanted to know from South Park was when their dragons were going to get there. That's all I know about Game of Thrones.
Side note,
one South Park episode.
Well, have you been watching Legends of Tomorrow?
No, I need to get caught up.
You need to get caught up because they actually reference Game of Thrones in.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they referenced
episode.
South Park, and I was going to be really happy for a second.
I have to mute you guys for a second.
Yeah.
I have to drop in on my dogs and yell at them because the wife is not home.
No problem. All right, so while you do that, we will talk about. Colin, let's talk a little bit about. Let's talk about a topic that you are eminently qualified to talk about. The Detective Pikachu YouTube fake leak.
Okay.
Okay, so Ryan.
I loved it. I loved it.
All
I
right,
do agree with your point, though. Go ahead.
So Ryan Reynolds is a master of viral marketing. Okay, he knows how to work social media. There is no question about it. He's one of the best. All right, he has a great sense of humor. He knows how to approach things, and so he trolled the internet by launching a fake YouTube leak of the entire movie, which was really just Pikachu dancing for like 30 seconds on loop. For like 2.5 hours. So.
Okay, that for some people that might be all they wanted. For some people that may be better than the movie.
Yeah. And what was great about it was he did it right. He's got the Warner Brothers intro. He's got, all the stuff that makes you think that it might be correct. But then it's not. All right. So let me see here.
I want to say it plays like the opening scene that was in the trailer.
No, it goes right from the Warner Brothers intro and the Legend intro into Pikachu dancing. I'm looking at it, but I obviously I have it muted because we don't want a copyright strike from Inspector Pikachu. But what I like is all the comments. Okay, now this had over 19 million views. Okay, 19 million views for a troll. That's pretty darn good. So, a Hunter Penguin says, hears that there was a fake Detective Pikachu leak of just him dancing. My brain. Find it. Must find it now. They put so much effort on this, so it has to be number one always. There is no way this is not the best movie. Pikachu losing weight since 1996. This is probably the best clickbait on the history of YouTube. Sonic, I prefer the real best film. Detective Pikachu, I said the real perfect film. The number one clickbait ever in the history of YouTube. The title said full picture, but mine is centered. I'm not even upset. No, I'm the opposite of upset. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I think Ryan Reynolds did the mocap for this low key. The equivalent of rickrolling 12 million people. And that's the only thing I was disappointed at. I really wanted this to be Never Gonna Give You Up. I wanted to see Pikachu dancing to Never Gonna Give You Up because I thought that would be amazing. But he did it this way so that he didn't have to pay royalties to Rick Astley. Wow, I totally fell for this Pikachu. You will pay. 5 minutes later, I fell for it again. I don't know why I come back for this clickbait again first thing this morning, but I'm still smiling. So, yeah, I mean, it went really well. I mean, they did a great job. They did a great job of this troll. So, it was good.
So, let's talk about one of Shaggy's favorite shows here. Queer Eye.
Yes. I do like Queer Eye. It's a good show.
Makeover on a rescued dog.
Yeah, now I will admit I have not watched this all the way through. But who could not like them doing, puppy love? Come on. It's got to pull at the heartstrings a little bit, Mike.
A little bit.
I mean,
But
a 3-year-old rescue dog, believed to be a Corgi Beagle Basset Hound mix, was rescued from a high kill shelter. And the Fab Five were brought in to give Lacey a little TLC to get her ready for her forever family. First, they made her some dog-friendly peanut butter treats before giving her a paw massage with some coconut oil. And then they also set her up with her own bed, toys, and a fancy new collar and leash. You know? Every dog needs a little, doggy spa day.
Well, yeah.
Lacey was adopted, so,
I'll be back.
Okay.
I gotta go beat somebody. I'll be back.
Okay. Yep. And by the way, he really doesn't mean beat somebody before anybody yells. Mike loves animals more than anybody else. So he just means feed them treats so that they're quiet. And the only reason that my dogs aren't barking this time, they were barking earlier because the wife came home, is because I fed them. We started feeding them before the show now, so that they don't start barking 45 minutes into the show going, hey, we haven't been fed yet. Hey, we haven't been fed yet. Hey, where's our food? Hey, stupid. It's after 6:30. It's time for us to eat.
Yeah. Seems to work.
Which they do a lot. Because while it hasn't been proven that dogs can read a clock, they sure do know when they need to be fed.
See, my parents' dog, we've learned to pay attention when he barks. Because the other day he was barking in the front hallway. I was like, okay. I was like, well, maybe I'll go pick him up, give him attention. And I realized that what he was barking at was the FedEx guy who was delivering a box to the wrong house.
Wow.
And the reason that he was barking at the FedEx guy is that the front door was standing open. And he proceeded to, run outside! Ah! Actually, this weekend he ran outside twice.
Sweet. Awesome.
Dogs.
Yes. Dogs. It is what it is. Dogs are just a part of life, unfortunately.
Yes.
Well, or fortunately, dogs are great. Dogs teach you a lot of lessons.
Yeah. Like, don't let dogs run outside of the house.
I'll tell you what, the other night, I let the 3 rat terriers out first.
Uh-huh.
All right? Because if there is a rabbit in the backyard, they will usually they can't catch it. All right?
But they'll certainly try.
And they'll try, and it'll get out of the gate. Before I let the beagle out, who will catch it, will disembowel it, and eat half of it. All right? It just happens. It's a circle of life, folks. All right? But
So,
cleaning up
Did
half
you guys-
a rabbit is a pain.
did you guys hear my dogs barking before
Yeah.
I walked away?
Yeah.
You did? Okay. Because, like, wow. All right.
So,
We were just talking about Gilbert. He's the one who decided to run outside of the house a couple of times over the weekend.
Yeah.
so I let the rat terriers out.
Uh-huh.
This time, the bunny's too stupid to go out the gate. It tries to go out through the fence. Can't get out through the fence because, I don't know, chain link fence is too small for your stupid bunny body. So one of the rat terriers gets it. Now Molly, she doesn't want to eat the rabbit. She just wants to crack its neck and then bring it to you to show you what a good job she did.
She's a good girl.
Yeah, she's a good girl. So I hear the rabbit in its demise, and so then I'm like, darn it. All right, fine, I'll get the shovel. So to take it to the trash, because we don't tell them what else we do with the shovel sometimes. But so I'm like, oh, man, but it's behind all this brush. It's going to be a pain to get. By the time I've gotten the shovel out of the shed and turned around, Molly has brought the carcass to me. I'm like, good girl, go upstairs. go to the door. She drops it, walks up to the door. I'm like, wow, this really made my life a lot easier. I didn't have to go looking for this at all. And she is just as pleased as she could be. She got inside, or I put the rabbit in the trash, let the other dog out. They did their business. They come upstairs, and she is just standing by her cage going, Mom, I did good. I did good. I got the rabbit. I got the bunny. It wasn't supposed to be in the yard. I got it. I mean, she just couldn't be happier. I mean, dogs don't smile very often, but she had one ear to ear.
The yard has been protected once again.
I did.
Oh, of course.
My patrol was successful. But yeah, it was fun.
We have a possum living under our deck.
Oh no.
Evil things.
I may have told you the story. No, not necessarily evil. I may have told you the story about one night Kim sitting at her computer, which is at her desk is by the back door, and she's hearing a squeaking from outside.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Right?
It got a hold of the dog toy or something, right?
Possum got one of the squeaky balls and brought it under the deck and was playing with it. I had to replace some deck boards over the past couple of weeks, and just so happens I had to pull up replace a couple of boards that ran over where the possum hangs out.
Yeah.
Found the squeaky ball. It was a tennis ball, a Kong. The squeaker is now gone. Then I started power washing a couple days later. And I get done. I go inside, and my neighbor texts me from across the street. He says, "Hey, your possum got out. Look out the front door. Here's this soaking wet possum walking across our sidewalk." I said, "Oh, boy." Thankfully, I was using the surface cleaner, not this direct power washer thing.
Yeah. You could have sliced that possum in half.
Probably. I don't mind them.
Oh, I
because
do.
They do eat so much. Oh, they freak me out. I'll be clear about that. I don't mind them living in our yard because they eat ticks and what have you. And that, as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. As long as he or she stays hidden and doesn't go messing around with the dogs, we cool. We cool.
Okay, most of the possums around here are mean.
Yeah, and one of them got a hold of my cat, and the cat lost. And that's why I can't stand them, because they are really mean, and they're big. By the time you can see them around here, they're like small dog sized.
Okay,
I mean, they're large.
Yeah, yours are probably larger than ours. Ours, our one cat brought home one of the possums one time.
Yeah, no. The beast of unusual. Actually. The beast of unusual size from Princess Bride. Yeah,
rodents.
Rodents of unusual size. Yeah, that's what we have here. All right. Wesley would not be able to kill one of these. That's how big ours are. And so Mama Blair, I see Mama Blair asked about the legislation from burying pets and would it affect the rabbits. No, because I don't use the shovel to bury the rabbits. I use the shovels to carry the rabbits to the trash can where they get put underneath a few trash bags. And so Mr. Trashman picks them up. So they go to the landfill.
Well, okay. There must be legislation there. I mean, I think it's technically it's probably illegal here too. I just don't know if it's one of those things that anybody ever actually enforced.
So yeah, there is. What the hell? Why does it say I'm running out of space? Okay.
We had a recording stoppage.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, recording said no. I'm out of space. Why is it going on J for crying out loud? I don't know. Somehow it decided that it wanted to save onto a little USB flash drive I had plugged in rather than on the big-ass hard drives that I have plugged into the system, which makes no sense at all, but whatever. Okay, we'll go with that. So, yeah. So,
all right. Before we get into the movie review,
yes. Oh man. We're close, but we're not there yet. So, yeah.
I would like to know when an actual movie studio decided it'd be a good idea to kind of spoof Sharknado.
Yes. Yeah, I remember seeing that. You're talking about Crawl?
Yes.
Which we saw. There is a trailer for, which I won't play because we get in trouble all the time. Crawl.
Now, see, I thought we would be allowed to play the trailer if we were doing it for evaluation purposes.
We can give it a shot if you want. We're not actually streaming to YouTube right now. We upload later to YouTube.
No, I mean, okay, we don't have to do that, but
right. So, Crawl is a 2019 film about a young woman while attempting to save her father during a Category 5 hurricane finds herself trapped in a flooding house and must fight for her life against alligators, according to the trial, or according to the IMDb info. And, it's a budget of $17 million, okay, which is a pretty decent budget. But to me, this looks like a combination of... Well, actually, didn't we watch a movie just like this? I think we did. Instead of alligators, it was sharks. But wasn't it about a trailer park, and it had the cast from, like, American Pie in it? And it had Mr. Belding, and he, like, blew a dam to flood a trailer park?
Yeah, and for some reason, Trailer Park Sharks, for some reason that is ringing a bell. I do not remember actually watching it, though. I may have tapped out, or I may have vetoed. I don't know. But this movie, Crawl, Sam Raimi is one of the producers. And for those of you who don't know who he is, he created the Evil Dead series. He directed the Spider-Man trilogy from, I think, was the Tobey Maguire trilogy. He also directed the 1990 hit Darkman.
Yep. And
I mean, he's done quite a bit of, like, well-known movies.
He also did the TV series Legend of the Seeker, which was actually pretty good. Yeah, he did The Grudge 2, Xena Warrior Princess he was in charge of, Hercules, A Legendary Journeys.
He worked on Spies Like Us.
Mantis.
I mean,
he worked on Time Cop. So, yeah. So he has, like, credentials. So, and then we have, let's see here. Okay, so the primary characters, or the primary leads.
That's right. That's the other one that's coming out.
There's a Killer Clowns remake coming out.
There's a Clown-nado.
Oh, there's a Clown-nado coming out?
Yes. I shared that to my Facebook page. This one, you know what? We'll play this trailer. I'm gonna find this one for you because.
Yeah, so the primary character, one of them, actor named Barry Pepper, he was in Battlefield Earth, Saving Private Ryan, True Grit, The Green Mile, 7 Pounds, Enemy of the State. I mean, Titanic. Yeah, he was, like a real actor. Is a real actor. Okay, so let's see here.
This is only a minute.
All right,
minute 14.
Here we go.
So.
There is one nasty-ass storm heading this way. Tornado touched down about 4 blocks away.
This thing is bad news. I mean, it's evil.
We've been chasing storms for a long time now, and we've never seen anything like this.
Okay.
The show's starting, and we have a new act debuting tonight.
What the hell is going know this clown, honey?
Hello, darling.
We gotta move it away from the town. That thing's gonna destroy everyone and everything in its path.
So we will be watching this.
Oh, jeez. That's clown.
At some point we will.
Oh.
There was something else I saw recently that looked even worse, but I can't remember what it was anymore.
Yeah, Mama Blair says, I hate clowns and I hate it, but this made me laugh. So, I don't know. There's just a rash of bad stuff coming out recently. I mean, you know, there's a lot of bad on the horizon for movies. Because, you know, speaking of bad news, The Cool Kids was canceled. It really bums me out.
But the Orville was picked up.
The Orville was picked up, but I kind of have a feeling it only was so that they could get McFarlane to sign his contract again. Because his contract with Fox was up as well for renewal.
Okay.
And I got a feeling, and there's a couple of rumors running around, that maybe the two were tied together. That McFarlane said, if you want me to keep keeping on, then I need to stay in the captain's chair.
Okay.
You know, which, whether that was a multi-season deal or not, I don't know. But, you know, I like the Orville, and if they axed both Cool Kids and the Orville, I was going to be really pissed. As it is, I'm still mad.
Well, I'm mad. I mean, they axed the Cool Kids. They axed the Gifted, which honestly I was kind of surprised it lasted as long as it did. But the way it ended was enough to make 8-Man want to cut a bitch.
Yeah.
But then I saw that Fox is going the maybe going like the CSI route. They're going to have 911 Lone Star.
Yes.
Right? With Rob Lowe.
What we don't need are more cop shows or more reality shows or more investigative shows.
I like 911. I think it's a very good show.
It's the best new show in the last 2 seasons.
I don't want to see it get diluted.
Yeah. Although it is Rob Lowe, so maybe.
He couldn't save Code Black. I thought Code Black was an excellent show. I loved that show. I was mad when that got canceled too.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of, I don't know,
shenanigans. A lot of shenanigans.
TV's starting to suck again.
Yeah. You know, and all the I don't know. I was really hoping that the Cool Kids would get picked up by like a streaming service or something then. But I don't even know how that works anymore. You know?
Well, I think the Cool Kids was actually, no, it wasn't a Fox production. I don't know. It was kind of a Fox production because Charlie Day was one of the executive producers, and because I think he's tied to Fox with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, so does that mean it can't move to another network at all?
Oh, no, it can because
definitely
Last Man Standing was a Fox show that was on ABC, then it got canceled, and Fox brought it back on their network.
See, and that kills me is why does Last Man Standing get a renewal? You know, I can't imagine that Last Man Standing has great has good ratings.
It's because of Roseanne.
And I actually think that having Last Man Standing before Cool Kids hurt Cool Kids. Because I think you have two different audiences there. I don't think it's the same audience watching both shows.
To answer the question, Cool Kids is owned by Disney.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's just dead.
Oh, no. It go to Hulu.
Yeah, but Disney's not going to take it to... I don't think they're going to take it to Hulu.
They could. I'd say, but Hulu is where they could take it to.
Yeah, but I don't think they would, because they're only interested... I don't think they're interested in new adult content.
No, that's what they're going to do with Hulu.
Yeah.
Hulu is going to be new adult
content. But that's where they got their Marvel content going to.
Marvel content is probably going to Disney Plus.
I don't know.
So Disney Plus is going to be kids and Marvel and that stuff. Serious adult stuff, probably including Deadpool and that level of things. That will go to Hulu. So Disney, this is a news piece that came out last couple weeks. Disney has now taken 100% control of Hulu.
Yeah.
So everybody has sold their bits to them or has agreed to in the future. So Hulu. So that's what Disney's done. They kind of excuse me. They're gonna have a package deal where you can do ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu as a package. So Hulu will be basically all the kids stuff will go from Hulu over to Disney Plus. Hulu will be the adult new programming platform, and ESPN Plus will be where you watch sports.
See, I heard somebody say, well, maybe they're not doing it anymore because they're paying the stars too much. And I felt like saying, do you realize who the stars are? I can't imagine they're demanding millions per episode.
Well,
really?
I think they ran out of older cameo guest stars that they could loop in.
Oh, no. Are you kidding me? I bet we could find tons. I bet we could find tons that they haven't brought in yet.
Yeah, the cast of that show is just happy to be on television again.
Yeah, Klinger hadn't had a steady paycheck in a long time.
And I actually have to say that the last episode, I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, the Friendiversary one. It was good.
There were a couple of laugh out loud moments during that one for me. But yeah, Fox. It seems like Fox just went on a rampage because they got rid of that. They canceled Star, which was one of their higher rated shows. They announced that Empire was going to get one final season that actually was going to be an extended season that kind of bucked the trend that instead of the final season being a short season, they're giving it 22 episodes instead of 18.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
to wrap up the storyline.
And according to what I had heard, the ratings for Cool Kids was actually higher than the ratings for the Orville.
I don't know if that was legit. That may be adjusted because the Cool Kids was a Friday night.
Yeah. Also, Cool Kids they were losing steam the further into the season they got.
But they were picking it up on the delayed playback. They weren't getting the live views that they used to, but they were still hitting tons with the delayed. And that's where really the everybody across all the platforms were seeing that their delayed playback was much higher than their live.
Right, which is why I was saying maybe it could show up on Hulu, because that's where that would be important.
Yeah, I just yeah, just upset about that because I really like that show. Really like that show.
Speaking of new shows that are coming up in June,
yeah,
one of the defining shows of my childhood is coming back.
Rainbow Bright?
Nope.
Wonderama.
Oh. What?
All that. Nickelodeon's.
Oh no! Well, when are they going to bring back? You can't do that on television.
That was a Canadian thing that's kind of defunct. It was never really owned by Nickelodeon in the first place.
Well, they should bring that back first.
So what are the two creators of all that? One of them, Brian Robbins, is now the president of Nickelodeon.
Ah.
So he decided to bring back his own show. And Keenan Thompson is actually the executive producer.
Okay.
And the premiere episode We'll have Kel Mitchell doing his Good Burger, and the Jonas Brothers. But basically, so what the new president of Nickelodeon said is that if he'd been there, they never would have canceled it because that's basically their Saturday Night Live, and it should have been just always happening.
Yeah, I kind of understand that. I started watching Supermarket Sweep because it's on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
And I'm like halfway through the first season now. And I thought, okay, well, we need to bring back Shop Till You Drop.
Uh-huh.
And we need to bring back Joker's Wild. And
Joker's Wild is back.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think it's hosted
Snoop
by...
Dogg hosted.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg.
We need to bring back Bumper Stumpers. And we desperately need to bring back Hollywood Squares.
They still have that.
Hollywood Squares would be a good one to come back. I mean, They brought back $10,000 Pyramid, and they brought back Match Game.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see Hollywood Squares come back.
Hollywood Squares, they still do it in the UK.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Warwick Davis is always in the middle square, I think.
What, for 60 seconds? He just pops up. I'm Warwick Davis. And disappears.
There's a lot of talk, by the way, that they are thinking about finally doing a sequel to Willow.
No, just stop. Just stop right there, please.
So it is 7:30.
Yes, it is.
Let's do this movie review.
So it's time for.
I'm going to be beating somebody up there. Kim had to go to a board meeting for the rescue tonight. And I didn't think about that when I suggested that we reschedule for today, because I did not expect these dogs to just be out of their mind.
Okay, so the two movies for tonight were Range 15 and Undercover Grandpa. Now, Range 15 is a zombie movie available on Amazon Prime, and Undercover Grandpa is a Netflix movie. It's a I don't know how we want to call that one. Well, it's a movie on Netflix. Let's just put it that way. All right. So, who would like to start? I don't have my reviews written this time.
I'm sorry. Which one are we starting with?
Well, which one do you want to start with, and who wants to start?
Let's start with Undercover Grandpa, and I'll go first.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Mike's up.
All right. So, right off the bat, the two main characters, I am getting a dollar store Tom Holland and Zendaya vibe from them. I feel like it is the cheap version of Spider-Man and whatever Zendaya plays in Spider-Man, because I don't remember. There's a war in Cracovia. So while this movie is taking place, Viktor Navorsky is walking around JFK Airport stuck as a stateless citizen. So two tragedies. The password to get into the place, moon landing was a fake. I think I might make that my Wi-Fi SSID just to see who shows up at the door. You're going to tell me that the woman didn't feel that phone getting lifted from her pocket? I mean, that was not the most subtle move ever. You got about 40 minutes left in this movie, and I come to realize that this movie is the bad, aborted love child of The Dependables and Red. 35 minutes left in the movie. I was so close to tapping out, it wasn't even funny. It wasn't that the movie was bad. It's just the whole plot and everything just was barely holding my attention. I found it very uninteresting. And then out of nowhere comes a moment that kind of redeems itself, where Emperor Palpatine shows up with his fishing vest and walker and electrocutes everybody in creation. If it wasn't for that, this movie would have gotten a very poor score. But because of my indifference and my inability to really, really get into it one way or another, I have no choice but to give it a meh. if you liked The Dependables, and I know there's at least one of you out there that does, on the interweb, then you'll like this movie. Otherwise,
All right, I'll go next. So, Undercover Grandpa was one of my suggestions, and I'd actually seen it before, but I did rewatch it for this, and it's one of those where I actually rewatched it with the wife. And she, of course, as per normal, fell asleep halfway through. But there was no complaints about the movie that we were watching, which automatically is going to give it at least a meh rating. And it could only go up from there. Okay? Because most of the time, when I tell her what the movies are, she's like, well, there's no way I'm going to watch that. Good luck on your own. So, in this case, we have a grandpa who is let out of the home twice a month. To come and visit with his son and grandson, but he seems eccentric, right? He wants them to cover the windows. He wants them to cover up the TV. He wants them to, take the phone off the hook. He wants them to do all these things because he thinks somebody's watching him. And he tells them all these imaginative stories about all these things that his group did called the Devil's Scum, which there's no way any of this could be correct. Lo and behold, it's all real, okay? Grandpa was playing an elderly person with dementia because he wanted to be able to get out of that lifestyle but still stay around his family. Sorry, spoiler alert. But enter into it, grandson has a date with the hot girl who does look like MJ, by the way, from the Spider-Man movie. And I did not, that's a good call on that, Mike. You did good there. But, but she gets abducted because she sees something going on, and then, a little bit farcical on that whole thing there, granted. But you got to get somebody in danger. So, okay, we're going to go with it. So, but Grandpa's not supposed to be working the case, so then his handlers are after him, and long story short, he ends up getting his team back together, which is always where everything comes in good. All right? And now we've got a cool mix-up of all the old guys and a couple of young guys, and you're right, the Tesla battery pack walker from hell is one of the best parts of the whole movie, all right? Aside from all the hilarity that tries to have these old guys breaking into a building when they're, 80-plus years old. And especially, I thought they were just going to have the guy farting as he's trying to cross the river and bubbles coming up, but having him filled with laughing gas is a little bit different. I agree. It was probably a little bit too long. There's some stuff they could have cut out or made shorter. But in the end, I kind of like the movie. I'm going to give it a smile, especially since this is the second time I watched it, and I still liked it. But it doesn't really deserve anything more than that, but it's a smile. Hey, they give it 5.2 on IMDb, so it can't be too bad. Colin, you're up, and I forgot to press the button.
Yeah, you did. So I think it's important to understand, for people who haven't seen this movie, that it's definitely a kids' movie. And we don't really watch that many kids' movies. But kids' movies have, for all the bad guys and good guys in this movie, got all of their gun instructions from the G.I. Joe and Cobra shooting school. Because nobody in this movie is actually shot by a gun. They're just shots are near them. I found this movie a lot of fun. The cast was amazing. So it was James Caan is playing the main character, Grandpa, and Jessica Walters playing the head of the secret organization / his girlfriend. And for those who don't know who Jessica Walter is, but maybe have seen Archer, she plays Mallory Archer. So Louis Gossett Jr., Paul Sorvino, and at least those are the ones I recognized. And so, I don't know. I enjoyed this movie. Now, it is important to keep in mind that I accidentally watched one of the movies from next week and the other movie that we're going to talk about before this movie. And so this movie probably had a lot more enjoyment for me than it might have had on its own. But, as a standard kids' movies, it has a very Hallmark feel to it. It's like if Hallmark decided to do a spy movie, that's what this movie kind of feels a bit like. That is not an original thought. That's from someone else in my family. I actually flirted with the idea of giving this a Schneikes because I give Schneikes to movies I never heard of and that I actually really like, but it isn't really that good. So actually giving it the same smile that Shaggy gives it.
All right. So next up is Range 15, zombie movie that I was a little bit apprehensive to watch. All right, simply because I don't do zombie movies. I'll go first on this one. I don't do zombie movies a whole lot. I don't really do a whole lot of gore or any of that kind of stuff. But I brought up to one of my stepsons. I'm like, hey, one of the movies he asked, what movies are you watching? I'm like, oh, Undercover Grandpa and this movie called Range 15. He's like, oh, Range 15, I've watched that. It's hilarious. I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it a shot. Okay, so Range 15 is, here's where I went wrong with Range 15. I thought Range 15 had the guy who played Stifler in it, because the lead character from the box cover looks like the guy who played Stifler in the American Pie movies. He's not. He's not in any way, shape, or form other than he looks kind of like him. So don't get confused there. Also, the box art, or not the box art, but the Amazon listing makes you think that Sean Astin is going to be a starring part of it. You know, of course it says starring Sean Astin, William Shatner, Brian Callen. All right. So Sean Astin plays about 5 minutes in it. William Shatner plays about 3 minutes in it. So don't expect to see them a lot, okay? Because you're not going to. Danny Trejo is also featured in this movie. He should not have done this movie. It's like the Revenge. It's like Pool Boy Revenge of the Fury. Trejo should have said no. All right. Keith David was in this movie because Keith David evidently takes any job that he's offered, and it's always the same. Hey, play a commanding officer that likes to yell at people. And he goes, okay, I did that last time. I can do that again. So Range 15 tries to be a energy drink commercial disguised as a zombie movie, essentially, because it just has that kind of vibe to it, and it's horrible. But then in the middle, they also try to be like a parody movie, and that doesn't work either. And then they try and break the fourth wall, and that is just dumb too. This movie tried to be a lot of different things and failed at every single one of them. It had no clue where it was going or how it was going to get you there. And they killed the only character that I actually started to like during the movie, which was the ditzy, I think she was a stripper, but I wasn't sure, who turned out to be a genius, as I kind of expected she would be. So I am going to have to give this movie a VERP, because it wasn't what I expected. It didn't deliver anything at all. The cast was utilized horribly, and it's full of YouTube stars, evidently, that I've never heard of. And it just meandered forever. So, yeah, VERP for me. Thanks.
Okay.
You go next, Colin?
Sure. I'm just going to read from the Wikipedia here. The inspiration for making Range 15 was dissatisfaction with the way military are portrayed in many Hollywood movies, including characterization of soldiers and inaccuracies in uniforms and use of weapons. Okay. So this was a movie that was put together by two different clothing companies. They did a crowdsourcing campaign on Indiegogo. They were supposed to raise $325,000. And they already had $250,000, and they raised all the money. They eventually had over $1 million to make this movie, which they used that money by getting people such as Ron Jeremy and William Shatner and Sean Astin to come in as a cameo and had money thrown at them, basically. The only person in the entire movie does any acting whatsoever is actually William Shatner, who starts the movie as a lawyer and actually, has some dialogue that's actually written correctly. And it was kind of like maybe this was going to be a real movie. But then William Shatner turns into a zombie and dies, as does the movie itself. There was several times in this movie where I was like, oh, okay, fine. Movie's finally done. But the movie kept going. And I remember saying, why is this movie still going? I thought it was done 10 minutes ago. No. This is not a verb. This is Kill It With Fire. This is terrible. And wow. I just, this was bad. It was badly made. It was badly written. It was badly shot. The only thing that kept me from giving it, maybe doing it, was William Shatner's part, which was actually good. But no, it's nobody should watch this.
All right, Mike, you're up.
All right. Oh, the fuck. There's another movie starring YouTube stars. Oh, but they're veterans. And they got actual celebs to back them. All right, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now. 15 minutes in, I'm trying to figure out why the hell they didn't just pop the blow-up doll. 17 minutes and 25 seconds in, we're forced to watch a 2-minute and 10-second montage that is one giant commercial for all the products that these guys sell and or endorse. From energy drinks to guns to holsters to ammo to shirts to, yeah. Now, like you guys said, they're all ex-military. We've established that. Not a single one of them can hit these zombies in the head with a shot. Not the kind of veterans that I'm glad you're not protecting our country anymore if your aim is that bad. And then after this whole armament scene, they have all of this stuff. They can't get the doll off the guy. Oh, what the hell? Midget dingus attack. Oh, God. Midget zombie dingus attack. Why? That's 30 minutes in. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Is this a movie or a long-ass advertisement? I can't tell. 47 minutes in. This is how bad it's getting. If I have to hear, ooh, ah, whatever the hell kind of noise the dude made, if I have to hear that one more time, 56 minutes in, I demand to know who put this damn movie on the list. That's how bad it's gotten. Guy is going to go run and distract the zombie. Somebody explain to me why in the hell he's wearing glow sticks in the middle of the day. Bright, sunny day. He's wearing glow sticks to try and attract zombies. Explain this to me, please. Because finally somebody pops the doll, and it's Danny effing Trejo. And then the damn doll comes back. Look, it's just friggin' shoot me, okay? Friggin' shoot. And yeah, kill it with fire. This movie should be the poster child of why movies should not be funded by Kickstarters. Okay, kill it with fire. And anybody who donated to this Kickstarter, you should be ashamed of your damn self. You go sit in the corner and think about what you did because you helped bring this blight upon the earth.
Yes. You think about what you did to the internet and to Amazon.
You realize that this is 2 weeks in a row that one of our two movies got a 66% kill it with fire?
Yeah. Well, certainly we can't have another week like that. I mean, because we've got a short interval between this week and next show. We've already picked the movies for the next show.
Yes, I've already watched one of them, so you two definitely have to watch that one.
So the movies that we have are Barely Lethal, which is a girl raised to be a government assassin, just wants to be a normal teen, so she runs away and pretends to be a high school exchange student, starring Haley Steinfeld, Jessica Alba, and Samuel L. Jackson, which, hey, recipe for success, my friend.
As long as those people were actually in the movie.
Yeah, as long as they're actually in the movie for more than 5 seconds. And then the other one is, it is an independent film, and it is, I'm going to tell you guys right now, I think it was a Kickstarter. All right?
No, you go to hell and you die. No, what?
I think it was Special Unit, which was made by the comedian Christopher Titus.
Oh, well, now I know who put this one on there.
All right. It was this is due to the Fairness in Disabilities Act, the LAPD has to hire 4 disabled undercover officers. Their training officer is the worst cop in LA. So, I will tell you right now, this one is not for those who have easily offended sensibilities.
Nothing good is going to come from this.
There may be interesting discussions. And because I've already seen it, you have to see it too.
And
that's how it's going to be? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to remember that shit.
So,
actually, in fairness, I think I pulled that.
Yes, you did.
I pulled that card on you guys.
That's the reason I brought it up.
So, I can say I've watched the first 15 minutes of Special Unit, I think. I have not watched the rest of it yet.
I will say the first 15 minutes are the worst 15 minutes.
Okay. So, I actually wanted to watch this movie anyway, almost to the point where I almost bought the DVD when it came out. Because I did not know if it was going to be on streaming or not. But I'm a Christopher Titus fan, so that's a little bit different. I like his comedy. I loved his show.
That's why I said I knew who put this one on here.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so yeah, that is that's what we got coming up on the next show. Now, when that show will be, we don't know yet, because it's not going to be Monday because that's a holiday. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be Tuesday because I'm getting paid. We don't know when it's going to be the next. We don't know when it's going to be that week. I can tell you guys, my calendar is fairly free the rest of the week. Other than it is my mother's birthday on that Friday night show.
Well, I was going to say Friday. I'm actually going to be in Poconos for
Woohoo!
NASCAR. So we can we can talk about it. We can do Wednesday or Thursday, but we can decide. I mean, if we have to push to the following week, we push to the following week.
Yeah, it should not be a big deal for that. So, because I am going to try and do a on the road again before then. I guess Thursday I am busy as well. I forgot. So it would either be Wednesday or nothing, or next week. So, or no. It's this Thursday I'm busy, not next. Dang. The schedule's too complex for me. So we got all that. So we got a few minutes left. Let's do one more story real quick here before we head out. Let's see here. Real quick. SAT is going to be adding a new scoring metric to their test to add adversity score to the test results. So I was curious what we all think about this. This is intended to help admission officers account for factors like educational or socioeconomic disadvantages that may depress students' scores, the College Board, the company that administered the test, said Thursday. So if you live in a poor area, you're going to get a adversity score that reflects that, so that admissions officers can say, you're poor, so you should be more dumb, is how I'm reading this. It kind of goes along with, like, for employment for the state, we give additional points to certain ethnicities. Okay?
See, I was looking at it more like almost like a handicap for golf.
Yeah.
That you get, like, you'll get a higher starting, like a higher base score.
Well,
based on how much adversity you have, or you'll get this many additional points based on your adversity.
See, and I don't think it's being added to your total score. It's just another line for them to take when interpreting your score. But still, it seems like it shouldn't matter. I thought that the SAT is supposed to gauge your intelligence and your ability in problem solving and that kind of stuff. What does it matter where or how you grew up?
Well, okay, look, how many times have we seen these stories of inner city kids from a poor development that got accepted to all 8 or every Ivy League college and offered full scholarships to all of them?
Yeah, because
they did that without adversity points.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was a high school somewhere around here where they had 12 students that got perfect scores on the ACT.
Well, remember, too, that they're basically marketing their test. So the idea here is just to try to get the schools to use their test so they can get the money for it.
Well, but you have to sell it to the colleges, not just to the high schools. You have to sell it to the colleges to take those scores into account. Because it does no good if you include this, but then the colleges, whatever.
Well, if the colleges tend to already support either the ACT or the SAT.
Well, right. I know that. I'm saying this additional piece of information.
Right. They're trying to sell it to the high school.
Right. But if the college is saying, whatever, that's like telling me how much you weigh. I don't care. I just care about this score. What's the point then of adding it if it adds no value to the college that's evaluating?
Because there's lots of colleges. Some of the colleges may like it. Some of the colleges may not. All that SAT cares about is can they sell it to the high school?
Yeah, but, I mean, from a perspective of a community or whatever, should it matter? If I'm trying to evaluate 2 people and I'm just trying to look for who's going to be the better student, who's going to be the better fit for my university, who is going to be who is going to bring the most prestige to my community, to my university, why should their socioeconomic stature matter? In fact, we're seeing this exact same opposite thing happen because of the enrollment scandal, where it did matter. Okay,
it depends.
So it should factor the other way around.
It depends on the school. I mean, some schools. Like Harvard, for example, most of their money comes not from the students. It comes from the alumni. So they're trying to sell it to the alumni to get them to give their money. So if they could say, hey, we have this percentage of students with this adversity score on the SAT, then that makes it easier for them to sell to the alumni to get their money.
I don't know.
It's all about it's all about marketing and getting that easy to understand number.
I think it's more about further segregation.
Well, no, I think that's what it's gonna wind up being. But I think this is gonna this is kind of like the J.D. Power Award for scholastic achievement. I never heard of J.D. Power. All of a sudden they started giving out awards for everything, and now it's recognized as some kind of, it's like who's who in American business. You pay the money and your name goes in a book. Yeah. What they don't tell you is they offer it to every damn person.
It's like the National Honor Society or the who's who in high school students.
Yeah.
National Honor Society actually means something, I think. But
National
who's
Honor
who
Society,
does not.
but not exactly.
But anyway, I don't know. I just think it might be a bit of I'm not normally one to say this, but I think it might be a bit of PC run amok.
Well, it's the same PC that already existed. They're just actually they're putting labels on people.
Well, yeah.
So
now
they're
labeling. They're trying to quantify it. Is what they're trying to do.
It's packaging.
Right.
They're trying to be able to put a nutrition label on the side of a student, so they can sell it to their people.
Yeah, I don't know. It just
which I agree is a bad thing.
Seems dirty. Seems dirty. Seems like you're either going to be lifting somebody up or putting somebody down, or using someone's status for your gain.
Yes,
one way or the other.
That is, we are in a country that is built on capitalism, and that's what capitalism means.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not saying it's right, just saying that's the system we're in.
Kind of seems like tattoos that they did back in Germany. Just saying. So,
my dear needle, I have my tattoo. I swore no needle would ever touch my skin again.
All right, folks, you've been listening to PTR Radio, and we thank you for tuning in each and every time that we're on. We don't know when the next show will be, so make sure that you tune in to our social media at PTR Radio on Twitter and Instagram. We're /PTR Radio on Facebook. Also, don't forget to check out our website, ptrradio.com, where you can get the information for how to subscribe to the podcast so that you'll never miss an episode. You can see our shining faces on there, read our bios, all that kind of stuff, and learn more about the show in general, as well as download other bits and all kinds of fun stuff. It's all on the website, ptrradio.com. So, I don't have anything for the public coming up anytime soon. A couple weeks I will be doing a 3-day engagement for a private vendor, which will be fun. So if you know me, you can come up and you work for them. You can come up and get an autograph, but no public.
I asked McKenna if she had any comment about Range 15.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, her only comment is that the only thing worse than that movie is Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Okay. So with that said, we want to say we appreciate all of our listeners out there. Thank you again for tuning in. But stick a fork in us, folks, because we are done. I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
I'm Mike the Ape Man.
All right, folks. Later.